Welcome to That Heartbreak Hogs podcast. If you are new here, please consider hitting that thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. Please comment down below your thoughts on our takes. And with that being said, we are going to head into the video that you came here for. Well, both of our predicted champions are out.
I
Sid
was
had
doing so
Oregon.
well.
Sid had Oregon, and I was gonna text him and go like, "Hey, buddy, your national champ's out," but I was gonna wait in to see the Georgia game and see what would happen since it got delayed a day. I was like, "Oh, all right, let's see what happens." And sure enough, Notre Dame takes care of mighty Georgia. Um,
Who was in your
you,
championship?
so I had Georgia beating uh, Oregon in my national championship.
Yeah.
However, I did say that I think Notre Dame is legit. And if they did find a way to get past Georgia, that I think that they are a real contender and that they would contend with Georgia. But I had to take Georgia just because of Kirby Smart's history in the playoff and all of that. But Notre Dame, I'm starting to really drink the Kool-Aid on them. I love the way that their team is built. I think they're very balanced. I like their emphasis on strong defense. I just like what they're doing. I like what I see, and I think that they can match up with a lot of teams. Let's start with this first game. Penn State and Notre Dame. I'm going to continue the trend here. I think that this is going to be a blowout. Notre Dame is going to win convincingly over Penn State. Penn State, I am skeptical of beating SMU, and Boise State to me.
And you've said it all season too. Just throwing
Yeah.
that out there too.
I've been skeptical of Penn State, and even though I've been picking them to lose, like I picked SMU to beat them, SMU was not very good.
Yeah.
They hadn't played anybody. It was obvious whenever they played Penn State. Boise State, it was a matchup nightmare for Boise State. All of Boise State's strengths on offense were Penn State's strengths on defense. And Penn State's strengths on offense were Boise's weaknesses on defense. So whenever that matchup happened, I picked Penn State to beat Boise after the fact, not in my original one because I had Penn State losing the first one. But I thought that would be a matchup nightmare for Boise. That being said, again, I don't think Penn State has really been tested. I think Notre Dame is built like a championship type roster, and I think that they are going to win convincingly, and the trend of blowouts in this college football playoff is going to continue on Thursday. What about you, Sid?
See, I'm not that against Penn State like as you are.
Yeah, I know you're not.
I just haven't been.
They are better than I thought. I'm going to give them credit. I just to cut you off real quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Penn State some flowers to make it to the round of 4 teams left. Congratulations. Y'all were better. Regardless if I still don't really think that you've really played that significant of a team, I think you've definitely earned like top 10 status. Like at the very least, like they're better than I thought. And they are better than I've been giving them credit for all season long. I'll give them that, but I think they hit a brick wall this game.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, I think they're good at preparation. I think they know how to prepare for the opposing team, who they're going to play, and then are able to kind of mold their game to play that team. And so you might see a different team than you did against Boise with
That
Notre
might be
Dame.
interesting. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And as you did against SMU, they just know how to kind of play their opponent and almost like a chess match. And so I wouldn't count them out.
Sounds like you
I
might be
wouldn't say it's
taking
a
Penn
blowout.
State.
I wouldn't say it's a blowout, but I do think I'm still taking Notre Dame.
No, you're taking Notre Dame after all of that.
But unlike you, I'm
You're
not
taking it
saying it's a
closer,
blowout. I'm taking it a lot closer, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did win. Um,
but you think they win by more than 1.5? I would assume, right? Notre
yes,
Dame.
yes, yes. Is that
Okay.
the spread?
Yeah, 1.5.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit. Yeah, obviously 1.5. It's just a dumb spread. Um, yeah, I
All right.
I think. Um,
Did you want
I
to?
mean,
Did you want to add something?
the only thing was like the only thing it's like hard to pick against Notre Dame is because they beat Georgia.
I know.
They beat the Georgia, who we all thought, no
I
way. Like, even though I didn't have Georgia winning it all, there's no
Yeah.
in my back of my mind, I'm like, Georgia's
So
gonna probably win it all.
this is what's weird about Georgia is you feel obligated to pick them, but if they lose, you're kind of like, man, were they that good? But
Yeah,
you would pick them to win again. You would keep picking them to win, but
yeah,
losing, you're kind of like, man, I don't know. Because Lane Kiffin beat them.
yeah,
Lane Kiffin's first ever big win was this year against Georgia. They almost lost to Kentucky, like escaped a terrible Kentucky team, which beat Ole Miss, the team that did beat them. So, and then you lose. What was their other loss? They lost to Ole Miss and
uh, 2 losses, right? Yeah,
Bama,
yeah,
Alabama, who just finished the
and
season losing to
Bama,
Michigan
yeah, right.
and got blown out by Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, we
Lost
all
to
should have known.
Vanderbilt.
We all should have known,
So,
but
how good was Georgia? That's the thing. But then at the same time, we're like, well, we're going to pick them to win if they're playing.
yeah,
So it's a really weird situation with the Georgia thing. But Notre Dame beat them convincingly. Like it wasn't
no, I
like
mean,
they barely beat them. I mean they handled them.
right, which is why I think like Notre Dame is just going to be. I think Penn State will do well and
Hmm.
kind of try to play Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame just outmatches them
Yeah,
um, compared to Boise and SMU.
yeah. All right. Well, let's move to the Texas Ohio State game. Um, Ohio State's looking really good. They are looking really
Yeah,
good. Um, Preseason, I actually had Ohio State winning the national championship. Throughout the season, I changed that prediction multiple times. Um,
yeah, because you had
yeah.
Ohio State losing early.
After Ohio State lost to Oregon, that's whenever I dropped off of them.
Mm.
So, but prior to that, I had
No,
them winning the national
you had
championship.
Tennessee beating Ohio State, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, because Oregon just completely, or not Oregon, Michigan broke my trust
Yeah,
with Ohio State completely. Like I was like,
mm.
I don't trust them.
That's right. Yeah,
I was just like, I don't trust them. I think
yeah,
they should beat Tennessee, but I don't trust them to. And I also was expecting upsets, and there have been zero upsets, which has been very bizarre.
yeah.
Um, so before the games last week were played, or round two of the playoffs, the Texas Ohio State potential matchup, Texas was favored by 1 point.
Hmm.
After the second round games, Ohio State started out as a 6 point favorite. It is now Ohio State 5.5. I think Ohio State is the brick wall that Texas hits. I think they are very similar to Penn State. Beating Clemson and beating Arizona State just does not prove anything to me. I've been saying the Big 12 is the most overrated conference and is not very good for a long time. Arizona State, all offense, no defense, and they were able to come back in this game. And some may argue with that targeting call that was not called that Arizona State was in the driver's seat to win that game. Now, after that game went to overtime, Arizona State had its chances to finish again. came up short. Texas took
Mhm.
their chances, won. But I think Texas has slipped by too many times, and they're going to hit a brick wall. And Ohio State's that brick wall. Ohio State's going to be ready for them. And Ohio State is legit. Ohio State is better than Georgia, in my opinion. If you can lose to Georgia twice, who lost to Lane Kiffin, who lost to Alabama, and lost by double digits to Notre Dame, you can't beat them once. Ohio State showed us what you do in a rematch. Ohio
Mhm.
State beat the brakes off of Oregon. That's how you do a rematch. Taking Ohio State by double digits, I think it's going to be both games are going to be blowouts.
Okay. I think, yeah, I mean, Ohio State is on a mission, right? After that
Mm-hmm.
Michigan game, we knew you had talked about it too. Um, are they gonna be looking for blood?
Yep.
Um,
Or are they going to
after
collapse?
yeah, or are they gonna collapse? Exactly. And after that Michigan game, you were just unsure. Um, but and you knew in your back of your mind, I knew that there's a good chance if they
Mm-hmm.
come out swinging, like they could take
They're
this
going to
whole
be
thing.
hard to beat.
And they did. I mean, so far they've come out swinging.
Focused,
Um,
determined,
exactly. Um,
ready.
um, I mean, just dominating.
Warriors.
Yeah. However,
Oh, is this going to be the first upset? Well, actually,
is this considered
Texas
an
is
upset?
technically the
Yeah,
high. So Texas is technically the higher seed, and Penn State is technically the higher seed. However, if we go
exactly.
by money lines, there have been no money line upsets.
Upsets.
There have been seed upsets, but there have not been any money line
Money line
upsets.
upsets. Yeah.
Is this the first one, Sid? Is this the first money line
I
upset?
honestly think it would be a better matchup. The championship matchup would be better and more fun if it was Ohio State and Notre Dame. I think that would be a good championship matchup, and a fun one. Texas, they just find a way to win and
Squeak by.
squeak by. And
Yeah, they
so
even let Clemson back in. Remember they
mhm,
in that third quarter they let
they
Clemson
had
back
their
into it.
chance, yeah.
Yeah. And
So
again,
they
Clemson
like
lost to South Carolina,
right,
who lost to Illinois.
right. They like giving opportunities. Um, they want it's like they want to lose, but um, they had I don't know. I just want to pick something against you. I think I'll root for Texas. I'll go for Texas. I think they squeak by one more time. Why not?
I
One
may
more
be
time.
jinxing Ohio State, and I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. Man, I
yeah.
cannot guess some of these Texas big games right and Ohio State big games.
I think
So I
everyone in
might be
the nation is
jinxing
picking
Ohio
Ohio.
State.
I think everyone in the nation is picking Ohio State, and for that reason, I'm out, and I'm picking
And
Texas.
Texas shows up whenever they're underdogs. I'll give them that. When they're underdogs, they show up and they're ready to go. It's whenever they're favorites that you need to worry.
Well, they were underdogs against Georgia. Um,
They were
I
favorites
guess,
both
yeah.
times.
Were they?
Yeah,
Dang, both times.
both times.
Okay, they lost both times.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When they're favorites, you need to be concerned. But when they're underdogs, they win.
Well, they've rarely been underdogs this season.
Yeah, I
I
don't think
don't
they
think.
have been in
Yeah,
Michigan maybe. They may have been with
I don't
Michigan.
think so.
But yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe
No,
not.
I don't think.
I don't think
Yeah, I
so.
don't think so because Michigan looked
Yeah,
like they looked
no.
terrible the first week.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, so
yeah. Anyway,
that theory, that theory, I don't know if it works,
well,
but
just in their
we'll say,
history, I
yeah,
just
yeah,
watching Texas
we'll say
football.
5.5 points is a lot. I think they cover that, but I think Texas wins. Also, I'll take like them outright winning. I think Ohio State is out for blood, and if they win this, I think they win. Honestly, I think they win the championship.
We're
I'm
getting to
sure.
the championship next. We're getting to it
Okay,
next.
but I don't. I'm not going to get the opportunity to pick Ohio State over Notre Dame. So I'm
So,
saying if it happened,
do you think that Ohio State and Texas are built similarly? So I kind of see them being built very similarly, where they have mid quarterbacks. They have strong running games, and when their running game is strong, their offense is strong. They
mhm,
have a stout defense, stout run defense. I just feel like that they're built very similar, and so like both of them will give Notre Dame a similar type of game. I just feel like the Texas and Ohio State are built similar. It's just Ohio State has looked the part recently when
recently,
Texas looks to be kind of falling apart.
for sure. Um,
Because
no,
they
for
had all
sure.
the advantages against Arizona State and completely just they almost fumbled that one. I mean, like they
Mhm.
got really lucky.
I mean, okay. Can I bring up ASU,
Yeah.
Arizona State? That was an insane game. I mean, what's his name?
Oh, it was a great game.
Yeah, what's
It,
his
it
name
was a
was a
great game.
monster. He was the MVP of the game, and he didn't even win the game,
Yeah.
is unheard of. Like MVP of the game, and you lose the game
Yeah.
is just he was a monster. So I
Mm-hmm.
nothing against. I mean, yes, Texas gave it up, but Arizona State, I wouldn't count them out. They look the part. I mean, they were a good
They
team all
did.
season. Um,
Yeah.
they just wanted to prove something, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think this game is going to be the same in terms of who wants to prove it more. It's
Yeah.
Texas,
Because we could have all been sleeping on Arizona State. Who knows?
right?
But
I think
I don't know, man. I don't know.
so. Texas wants to prove it because they're underdogs. Ohio State wants to prove it this whole season, this whole playoff run. They look like
Because of
they are on a
Michigan.
blood run because of Michigan. Both these teams are out for blood, and I think I'm still taking Texas, but I think if Ohio State wins this and they're favored to, they
Yeah.
win it all.
Okay.
If yeah,
Well, you can still take Ohio State. Are you sure you want Texas?
I'll take Texas.
Okay.
I'll take Texas.
All right. So that goes to my national championship prediction. I've got Notre Dame and Ohio State. Now, I'm slightly biased on this one. I do not like Ohio State. I have family that's from Wisconsin. Grew up watching a lot of Wisconsin sports, the Wisconsin Badgers and Green Bay Packers. But watching the Wisconsin Badgers, I hated Ohio State. I grew up just hating them. Um, so when I see an opportunity for them to lose, I usually lean on that opportunity, and I'm going to take Notre Dame here to win the national championship and to beat the Ohio State Buckeyes, because the one thing that I do see on Ohio State as a weakness is Ryan Day in the big game. Not the games
That's
leading up
fair.
to the big game, but
But
the
the
big
one,
game.
sure.
Like the big game against Michigan, the big game against Georgia, the big game against Alabama. In the big games, I'm taking Notre Dame to win the national championship. Boom, I said it.
That's
Who you
fair.
got, Sid? I swear this
Okay.
better not be a burnt orange championship, Sid.
I'll bring this up first. So I've got Texas versus Notre Dame, right?
Yep.
I already picked Ohio State to win it all. If it's Ohio
If it
State,
was with Notre Dame.
if
Okay,
it's with
gotcha.
Notre Dame.
Gotcha.
Um, last time Texas played Notre Dame, I see it was in 2016.
Uh-huh.
The score,
Uh-huh.
the game went to overtime.
Really?
The score 50-47.
Oh my gosh. Texas won, I bet.
Texas won
Okay.
50-47, and I can see that happening again. I can see that
A
happening again.
shootout,
A
huh?
shootout in the championship. Um,
And you're taking
now
Texas to
I
squeak
think
by.
compared to
You're taking them
2016,
to squeak by, aren't you?
compared to 2016, I do think it's not can be that high because I do think both these defenses are better, are
Yeah.
good, and I still can see it going overtime. But yes, I'm taking the orange.
All right.
I'm taking the orange.
Oh man, it's going to be exciting. I hope I'm wrong about the blowouts. I hope that these are interesting games, but we'll just have to
We'll
see what
talk about
happens,
it.
man.
We'll talk about it next week when
Yep.
both our
Yep.
picks are wrong and we
Yeah.
and Penn
Yeah, when
State
we have
isn't.
Penn State versus Ohio State or something or Penn.
Penn
Oh
State,
my
yeah,
god, wouldn't that
Texas.
be wild? Two
Penn
Big
State
10
wins it
teams.
all.
Man, I've been so harsh on the Big 10 too, and right now
Yeah.
they're edging the SEC overall. Um but
I
yeah,
wouldn't count. Don't count out Penn State again.
all right, all right.
They know the doubters. K. Ross.
Hey man, I might be jinxing Ohio State over here, and I might be jinxing Penn State. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
I feel like Penn State fans should thank me because I've been so hard on them and saying that they're going to get blown out every time, and just helping them get in there. But we'll see what happens. But we got to get out of here, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Again, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and commenting down below. We'll see you guys in the next video.